Hi there, this is Tina Stitches. This is attempt number 1.5. Let's just call it that. I did film a full video already on 2 different devices, trying out my phone again, and because I was filming on both devices, I thought, okay, go. And then I realized about 10 minutes in that I forgot to hit record on this device. And don't you know it, the phone crapped out. So I'm going to re-record right now what I think I recorded but didn't, corrupted file or whatever happened. So this is a retake of the first part, and let me go let my dog out and I will retry. Oh, he's just being a jerk. Okay, so I gotta move some stuff around here because everything got buried, as it happens when you film a Flosstube. You get everything organized, and then it becomes a big mess, and you have to dig through the piles and find stuff again. So for this portion of the video, I will be talking to the right camera. But later on in the video is going to be what I had already recorded, and I'm thinking I'm talking to a different camera. So whatever. So anyways, I had been just showing some of my previous finishes. By the way, I will say it again, today is April 13th, and it is now 1:30 in the afternoon. I started this about 12:30 in the afternoon. It's a little bit brighter now than it was earlier, but it's still cold outside, and we're actually getting some water dripping off the roof because the snow that we got yesterday is now melting. We got probably about 6-7 inches of snow all day yesterday. It snowed, and it's supposed to snow all day again, but it's not. So anyways, I had been watching Dina's half stitch, cross stitch. Well, get in here. Come on. Come on. Get in here. No, Gonzo, I'm not going out there. You get in here. Come on. Come on. You watch. I'm going to sit down and he's going to start barking again. So I have Khaleesi and Gidget in here. He's just being a jerk. He likes to go outside. He's just being a jerk. Anyways, Dina at Half Stitch Cross Stitch was talking about her problems working with Teresa Wentzler's nativity design and the 1/1 face on that pattern. She's working on a linen, I believe. I don't know the count, but she's not happy with the way the faces are turning out, so sadly she's going to scrap that. I think she's going to restart it, but on an even weave. And I decided to pull out a couple of my Teresa Wentzlers that I have finished, and one of them does have over one face, and I thought I would just show you. These are also, I do show my bin of shame a while back, and yes, it's still a bin of shame. I even got the mailing tube to make myself a project roll, you know, to keep everything nice and together, you know, in case there's a fire and my husband has to grab stuff, just grab that. Out you go. Right now it's a bin. Anyways, I'm just being goofy here. And the dog is being a jerk. Be right back. Okay, I don't even know where I left off. I had to let the dog out because he was being a jerk. So, once again, I was talking about Teresa Wentzler's designs. Don't you crap out of me. So, I stitched a few of her patterns, and when I stitch them, I stitch on 28 count even weave, probably Monaco, mostly because of budget. My kids were little when I stitched these, so money went more towards children associated things, you know, snowsuits and stuff. So this is one of the designs. This one is Lady of Shalott, and I stitched this at approximately 2007, maybe 2005. I'm not 100% sure. So this is Lady of Shalott stitched 2/2 on 28 count even weave, and the face is stitched over 1. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Oh, didn't like that. Okay. So there it is. And there's the dog again. Let's see if we can just leave him out there. So, Lady of Shalott by Teresa Wentzler. Beautiful design, and when the face is over 1 on an even weave, I think it turned out okay. So there's that one. The other one that I finished, the other big one that I finished, and also hanging out in the bin of shame, is I believe it's called Peacock Majesty, Majestic Peacock, something like that. And this one I actually did sign, and it was dated 2006. There was a stitch along that was going on for this in the buddies, but I think I missed out on that, and a few people in the same online group that I'd been in at that time had been working on this, so a few of us got this finished. Again, hanging out in the bin of shame. Should get it framed. And the last thing that I showed before my video, you know, fiasco, is I was watching Leah Noel, Aviatrix Stitcher, and she had got a bit of stitchy kindness, and unfortunately it wasn't, it was what she was looking for, but it wasn't the pattern. It was just the magazine that had the finishing instructions for it. Oh, he's such a jerk. Isn't he? Get in here. See how long this lasts. So, she was looking for the design for this pattern in a Stitcher's World magazine from I don't know when, and I don't need it anymore. I already have it. Yeah. And I still have the pattern because I'm a hoarder. And I know that I needed to mention that because you'll see later. So anyways, I thought I'll go through my magazines and see if I can find it. Because I knew I still had it. I don't think I'm going to stitch this again. It is beautiful. But Leah doesn't realize that it's all rayon and whisper and pearl cotton and let's see if I can show this. Krynic, whisper, rayon. It's beautiful. You can see some of the sparkle there. That has whisper. So I don't need the pattern anymore. So I found the magazines. They are September and November of 2001, Stitcher's World. And I am going to be taking the patterns out of those magazines and sending them off to Leah Noel because I'm a hoarder. I might want to stitch something else out of the magazines, but also because of postage. To mail magazines would be more than just folding up the charts. So pretty sure she only needed the charts, and I sent her a message. So those will be on their way soon. When did I stitch this? I can't remember. It was for my husband. This is his stocking, and I've stitched Heaven and Earth design stockings for my two sons. So now I will, how does that go now? On to the show, whatever. Already broadcasting, whatever. I'm gonna edit this all together into the previously recorded video, and hopefully it will all make sense. Bye. So anyways, this is Heaven and Earth Designs, Ophelia. I was talking to, I believe it was Lisa from Shady Tree Crafts. I think it's Shady Tree. Try to remember to link her channel below. Same with Leah. I was talking to them about previously finished hates, because Lisa is just starting her first one, and this is my first one. And somebody else was talking about Hades and the colors charted. Anyways, I know this one I started in the top, and I don't normally do that, and that's how close I got to the bottom. So measurement was, I don't think the measurement was off. I think that the fabric was not perfectly 28 count. So that's why it did that. So anyways, yeah, this is the first shade, and when I was working on this one, the coloring in her arm, when I got to that, I was kind of freaked out that it's shades of green. And I decided to just go with it, just keep going, and got to the end of it. And from this far back, you can't really tell. So we're going with it. I mean, it's done, just needs to be framed. That was my first Heaven and Earth, and there was a lot of black, a lot, all of that, except for this wispy bit here is DMC 310 black. And in order to keep myself interested in it, what I did was I'd work a little bit on the fun stuff and then go to the black. Fun stuff, black. Fun stuff, black. So, didn't want to end up with all that black at the end. And it worked. So that is Ophelia. And this is Romeo and Juliet. If I can get it to cooperate. It's almost like a picture, like a photo. It's just so beautiful. Both of these ones took me about 2 years in total, and that's when I was mostly a monogamous stitcher, meaning I'm pretty sure, unless there was some kind of ornament exchange or something like that, I didn't touch anything else. That isn't the case anymore. In the last 2 weeks, I've touched 6 different projects. So, not a monogamous stitcher. So, speaking of whips, I guess I better start showing you what I've actually worked on. So, let's see. Where should I start? I'm going to start with this one. And on my next video, you may actually see a couple of finishes, because 2 of these projects are so close to being finished. This is one of them, and this one is Mirabilia's Lady of Antique Vines, Portrait of Antique Vines. I gotta get used to where that camera is. And here's a picture where it was before. And here it is now. As you can see, I've gotten started on the beads. I've also started working on the black back stitching. It calls for 310, but I decided to go with Petite Treasure braid. The number is PB05. And I worked on it, and I got down to this part here where the beading is, and I just couldn't make up my mind about which way the beads should go, because I am a very big I'm fussy about which direction the beads should lay. I try to turn them different ways to give different dimensions, and when I actually got to this part, I realized, oh, I didn't want to just have these ones go the same way, but I did it anyways, and I don't think I'm going to frog it. This camera over here is picking it up really good. But anyways, I just need to finish the beading down here, add a little bit more black thread for back stitching, and it'll be finished. So really that's just a one-day project. I just need to pick a day, get it done. So since that project was down to beading, I haven't been taking it to work, so I switched up my what I do at lunch project. And I decided it was time that this project got some love. And this is the Sweetheart Trees Mom Quatrail. I started this in Mania 2017 and figured I really need to get some of those done, especially if I wanted to start some new projects this Mania. So, excuse all of the loose threads here. I was working on it last night for the Friday off the grid party, and I'll just, because this one only uses 4 colors, I've been just sewing in the colors I'm not using into my grime guard, which I made just in case anybody's wondering. And this needle minder I also made. It was from a pendant that was left in the car, which I found and decided it was pretty enough to make a needle minder. So this is the progress that I got. There is I'll show a picture here where it was before. And where it was when I started the Friday off the grid party. And so you can see, get this paper. The heart on this side is finished. Try this again. Okay. The heart panel on this side is completely finished. This is the last M, and it is completely finished. I did have to frog this leaf right here had to be frogged because as I was doing the back stitching, I realized that it was over by 1 square, so I fixed that. And when I restitched everything, I realized that this flower motif up here is also, I'm going to turn this light on. I don't know, does that help? Maybe. So anyways, the flower motif was also off by 1 square, and so I just fudged it. And if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. So that's where it is now. This is also another one that it really just needs another day of love, and it can be finished. So I might do that today. Yeah, maybe. You know how it goes. It also has beads on it. That might take a little bit longer, but in a day I'm sure I can get all the rest of the stitching done. So that's another one that hopefully we will be able to show as a finish on the next update video. Now we have a couple of bigger projects. Let's go with this one. This is the Rose, England's Rose is what I've been calling it. It is a needlework pattern. It is not cross stitch. It is from the March 1998 issue of the Stitchery magazine. Remember, I said I was a hoarder. So this is the cover of it, and it's not even on the cover. It is, I'm going to insert a picture here because the picture in the magazine is really, really small. So here is my progress to date. That camera, I don't know, it's probably because of where I'm sitting. But I finished the beadwork here. So all the beads are finished, and I still have to rip out this gold. I am going to rip it out. I do have another gold I bought, and we're going to go with that. I am going to just do a corner in the other color just to be sure that I'm not going to change my mind and go back to this, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the one that I use. I'm just not loving it. And that is I think this right here is the outer edge of that design. And I still have to get the silk for the roses. And I think I have decided on a color. I have to contact somebody who sells the Dinky Dyes silks so that I can buy them. I believe it's called Grace's Rose. And if I find a picture, I'll put it in. 2 more. This next one is my Alice piece. Which I worked on a few days. About a week. Yeah, about 7 days it looks like it says. I'll put in a picture of what it looked like before. Here is what the finished product should look like. Mind you, I am making a whole lot of changes. And let me get my pattern off of here. Move my threads. And here is where I'm at now. And I was wrong, I have 3 more. This is number 4. So anyways, for this one I worked in this corner here. I had the heart done, but I didn't have the tree, or the hookah, or the caterpillar, or the mushrooms, or the door, or the start of the next motif. So this is again something that if I just picked it up and stitched on it, I could get it done quickly. There is one more motif. Yeah, just one more motif left there. And then it will be on to Alice and the Rabbit at the very top, which I have not done any of that at all. On Instagram I did post a question about colors because I had been undecided about this shade of blue here, which is the same, is charted to be the same color as Alice's dress. And I had Water Lilies Glacier and Weeks Dye Works Morning Glory, not Weeks Dye Works. It's Morning Glory by one of those overdyed, I think. Sampler Arts, Gentle Arts. Gentle Arts Sampler Threads. Morning Glory. And I went with the silk, the Water Lilies, because it was a darker color. And the other color, I mean, you can barely see that color on here. It really is brighter in person. But the other color was just going to blend right into the fabric, so darker color it was. So there's that. And that one is coming along very nicely. And I do have it right beside my chair, so I had been trying to pick it up every day. But that didn't really pan out, because I also have this one sitting right by my chair, and I love working on this one too, so you know how that goes. It's just battle of will, right? This is Royal Tudor Garden Mandala by Chatelaine. Put a picture of what it's supposed to look like. and a picture of what it looked like before. And here it is now. I really want to show you the sparklies. Where was I last time? I think I just did this whole thing here. And I know I had to frog this row out because it was too far over this way. And if you look closely, you can see the remnants of the old stitches. So next is going to be this Queen's crown, which is green this time. And then there will be the larger crown here. And then it'll be onto this corner, well, these two garden bits up here, which are the same as these ones. I'm working my way over. And this is in a, I believe this is 11 by 17 Q-snap. And this needle minder grime guard I made myself, and I placed an order a while back, about 3 weeks ago now, for a almanac frame, and hopefully that almanac frame will be big enough to hold this pattern, because I really don't like scrunching it up like this. So this one needs a lot more love than just a couple days before this one's going to get done. I don't know if you see if this helps a little bit to show it a little bit better. And if I get it on an almanac, then I think I can bead as I go, because I won't be that concerned about crushing the beads in the clamps. But as I roll it up, I can use a batting, cotton batting or something to cover the beads, because I do like to keep my tension tight. So we'll see how that goes. I know Crafty Lisa is working on this. I'll link her channel below. And she's in the center, and she's beading as she goes. So that makes me want to bead mine too. Because yeah, those empty spaces there are beads. So there's that one. And last but not least is my current Haid. And I don't think I brought up my cover page, did I? I'll insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like. And where it was last time. And here it is now. This is Beloved by Heaven and Earth. So I've been working in this area right here. And this here is the edge of the page, and I'm just trying to get over to that. And then that will be my stitches for the full coverage fanatics will be finished, and it'll be another page finish. And then there will be just 2 more pages until this entire row is finished. I know this is a fan favorite, so I keep working on it every day. Most days I set my timer for 20 minutes in the morning. I sit here and I have my coffee and I work on it. And when my timer goes off, it's time to hop in the shower. So, time to go to work and such. And then when I get home from work, I want to put my feet up in my lazy boy. So I work on my mandala and other smaller manageable projects. This is stitched on 25 count even weave 2/1 half cross, which 2/1, and that's something that I forgot to mention on my other heights that I showed earlier. 2/1 still gives you really good coverage. I don't have issue with the 2/1. Pretty soon we'll be getting into her face and the details down there. And this right here is my halfway mark. You can't really see because of the way it's folded up. That right there is the halfway mark. Another trick that I learned for working on heights is gridding is your friend. I wanted to get started on this one right away, so I didn't grid the way I normally do. What I normally would do is lines down in rows of 10, but there was some kind of competition going on, so I counted out where my page lines would be and my center mark, so that I could be sure that I would have enough border on all sides. There's my bottom border right there. So that's where that one is. So we're gonna see how this goes, because I think that camera just crapped out on me again. So anyways, I was I finished all my whips. I showed you all the whips, and now I have a dog barking outside the door because he's a jerk, and that would be Gonzo. Just a minute. Let's see now. So I believe I was at the point where I was going to show you my haul, and I got a lot of it. I had placed a couple orders a while ago, and Then I went on to Stash Unload, and now more stuff is showing up on Stash Unload, and so I am getting a few patterns here and there. Let's see. And I think I will start with the 1, 2, 3 order. It came in first, so in this order, there was a lot of stuff. Some of the things I needed, such as the gold thread for the England's Rose, and the black thread for Portrait of Vines, and also for my Royal Tudor mandala, because I'm doing all of the black work in this, and it took about 1 full card for, there you go, I can see the sparkle there, for 1 corner. So I grabbed 5 more cards just to be sure. And what else did we get? Sorry for the crinkle. We got another skein of Umbria by Karen Water Lilies, because this is the color that's used in the reindeer, Christmas Eve Courier's reindeer, for the wreaths mostly around their necks, and I found that the one that I had was more red than green, and this one I thought I'll order it again, see if I get a different dye lot, and it is also a lot of red in it. I don't know why that color was picked, and when I look at the pictures online, and well, not online, but the pictures that came on the pattern, it looks really green. So anyways, I already finished 2 of them, so I'm gonna keep going with that. And I also picked up the treasures to finish Rudolph. Because I was placing an order anyways. And I was looking for, well, you know, you can't go wrong with more Q-snaps, right? So I can have another project sitting by my chair ready to pick up and work on. And I was looking for a design to do for my boss, previous boss. I'm trying not to crinkle. They opened a store about 12 years ago and hired me and my sister. And last year they decided that they're going to sell the store and move to New Zealand, where they have family. And so I hummed and hawed about making something for them, and the reason being, it's like multi-layered reasons. one being my sister also cross stitches, and I know that she's already made them lots of cross stitch items. Each of the babies got, like they have 3 children, each of the babies got a birth sampler, and she made like butterflies and a tractor, and you know, made them into pillows just for the kids. And so I didn't want to do something cross stitch. And then I've also made them, because she's a cross stitcher, I made them quilts and such. And I thought about making a quilt for them. Maybe something that, you know, had Canada like implied on it, you know what I mean? Like with the red and black check and a moose kind of deal. But then I thought, no, because I know that they're also trying to downsize. So even though these things may have been given to them by people and they don't want to throw them away, they may have to leave them behind. And, you know, so I thought, well, the best option then would be to stitch something. But it can't be cross stitch, because what if my sister stitches them something? So then it made me think about what I did make for my sister, which was something that my sister wouldn't make for herself. So if she wouldn't make it for herself, why would she make it for somebody else, right? So I was looking at Sweetheart Tree designs, and I picked up 2. One of them is definitely not for them. And and I put 2 more on my wish list, because I actually really do like Sweetheart Tree designs. I just don't get enough time to stitch all of them. The nice thing about Sweetheart Tree is that they are a lot of specialty stitches and beads, etc. So this is the one that I picked to do for them. It says the Love Sampler, but really it just has like, it has 3 hearts here, a heart up here, and that charm is a special charm that actually says love, which you have to order separately. So I'm just gonna put a different charm on it. And actually I do have a blue heart that I ordered from when I was changing up my sister's sampler. So anyways, I figured I could just make them a nice little sampler. It won't take me a whole lot of time. If they don't take it, it's not like I spent months and months and months working on it, and I won't be that heartbroken. And maybe I won't even frame it. Just roll it up and I could even mail it to them afterwards. But I'm not even sure how much time I have, so I need to get started on this. So as soon as I get the Mom Catriel out of the way, this one is what I'm going to work on. And I ordered the beads and the fabric when I placed this order. You know, it has, in 1, 2, 3, it's very good because you can select all for the items that you need. And I have most of the floss. It's DMC floss and DMC Pearl Cotton, which I have, and I knew I would have it, but there was one color which is a variegated thread, so I'm going to have to try to figure out that, because it is the Cadet, which is really hard to find apparently. So I will be going through my stash pile and seeing what I have that may fit the bill. The other one that I got is just because I liked it, is the Sentimental Heart. And I mean, I could have done this for them as well, but I think it's a little bit too flowery for their style. The other one is a little more simple, but sophisticated. And they're a pretty sophisticated kind of couple, so that, and of course, because I could, I got letter I by Nora Carvet, because why not spell out my name, right? I already have T. I do not have the fabric or threads for this yet, but you know, part of the fun is collecting the stash, right? So I got those and I kitted up. Like I said, I ordered beads and the fabric for this, but when I got it, I was a little bit like, oh, I should have maybe thought that through a little bit more, because of the size of this design. So the size of fabric that they had listed on the Buy Me Now is 13 by 18, 32 count Belfast linen, which is fine. I'm not a fan of loose linen, but the problem that I had is I did the math, and it's only, did the math and I wrote it down here. So there's my threads. On 32 count, it's 3 by 9. And if you add a border of 3 inches on each side, then that would be 9.5 by 15.5. And if I cut it to be this way, this is not going to be, like if I cut it in half, I took this, cut it like that, I'd only have a 2-inch top and bottom. And I'm not, nowadays, I'm not comfortable with that. Back, who knows, I would have done it. But I also don't want to just trim this, you know, like this. And I don't want to use a whole piece of fabric for a piece that big. So, and I thought about it when I got it, it's like, if I had thought about that, I would have ordered a bigger piece so that I could cut, if I had ordered a bigger piece, I could cut strips this way and do like 4 or 5 sweetheart tree designs on it. So then I went through my stash and found this. And this is why you zigzag the edges. And I had to check my count. So this is 28 count, and I have a huge piece. Well, it's not huge, but, and you know, I'm betting you this is probably what I had stitched my Teresa Wentzlers off of, was a chunk off of this. Or maybe my hem under. No. No. I think the Lady of Shalott might have been stitched on a piece off of this big piece that I had got. So anyways, this is 28 count, and I am going to cut it because I have enough, I'm sure there's enough this way to do it lengthwise this way. And because it's 28 count, I will have to consider changing out the beads, because I did get the beads. And they are petites. But I think going with the regular ones, and I do have the regular size for the cream, and the blue I might even swap out to a different color. Who knows? Anyways, all of that to say, did some changes. Gonna be stitching it on 28 count. Should stitch up fast enough. I don't know if I'm going to take it to work to stitch on during my lunch hours, because I don't know if I'm going to make it a secret stitch or not. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. But yeah, so that one I'm going to be starting soon. And there's the little paillette. I don't know if it uses them in here. Yeah. I need 12. And there's 12. So, and I just ordered this because I used the ones from my sister's kit to make hers. So I also got this because my husband got me the design, which I meant to pull out, Time to Stitch, which is supposed to fit perfectly in here. And this doesn't come with the clock mechanism. The design has the arms stitched on, or you can leave them off and add your own clock mechanism, which you can buy relatively cheap at any craft store, really. Speaking of which, there's my clock that my mom made from an old record, which, again, one of those clock mechanisms. So, but when I got this, unfortunately, the glass inside, it's supposed to have a glass. It's broken. You can't hear it, but it's in like 3 pieces. So I sent them a picture, and they told me that they'll be sending me another one. So 123 has great customer service. And I might have one to give away. Who knows? I'll just put that over there. So that's not the only thing that I got. I also got another package. And this time it was from European Cross Stitch. And in it is a few things. So, bead pack for Amazing Kaleidoscope. Bead pack for Sleeping Beauty Castle. And also the bead required for my Royal Tudor mandala. I had sourced out all the other beads myself. Couldn't find this, so I thought, well, I'm going to go to European Cross Stitch because that's where Crafty Lisa got hers from. Of course, they don't have that They don't make that dark blue one anymore, so that was the closest they could get. So now I have all the beads to start 2 more Chatelaines, the 2 that my husband got me at Christmas. I already have threads for Sleeping Beauty, and I don't have the threads for the Kaleidoscope yet. I have the fabric. Also in that package was this, which is something else that I want to start. And this one I could do at work. By Filigram embroidery scissors. And they also have the threads kitted up. So I bought the thread pack as well. The main reason why I bought this is because this design here I had already had and been considering it for Mania a couple of years ago. But I didn't have the ribbon, I didn't have the thread. So I thought, well, if I didn't know about this one until I saw it on European Cross Stitch. So I thought, well, if I get that and I get the thread pack, maybe I can do both the patterns. They are both different, but similar. The only problem is, which I didn't know, the threads are not the same in both patterns. Does that really make a difference? No. I think I'm going to use the same threads. And I was also looking at the ribbon in here and thinking about using that color on my England's Rose embroidery piece, needlework piece that I'm working on. But I still want to go with the burgundy rose type, and it's called Grace's Rose, and that camera cut out, so I don't know if you got all of that, because that camera cut out and this one wasn't recording, so I'm gonna have to re-record the first bit of this video. I'll have to see where this one left off, because it looks like it's going to be this one. You are going to be the one to make the final cut. And then somebody was doing some unloading on Stash Unload, and I thought, well, that's cute. And so I think it was like $4 or $5. And it's just the Dragonfly Sampler by Midnight Stitching. And I think that's all. That is all the haul. So, plans. Plans are to finish the Mom Quatrielle, finish Portrait of Antique Vines, start and hopefully finish the Sweetheart Tree Sentimental Heart or whatever, the blue one. This one, well, the Love Sampler. Because, yeah, they move in a month or so. What else will I be doing? More on Beloved, more on Royal Tudor Mandala, more on Alice, more on England's Rose. Well, there's so much to stitch on. So I am going to leave now, and I'm going to go back to the beginning of this video, see where it left off, re-record that. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that was missing, but we'll see. I mean, the focus on that one is really great, but if it won't even save the file, then what's the point? Anyways, I hope you all have a great stitching week, and I think the next time that I see you, it will be time for Mania. And we'll see if I have any plans for that. Take care. Bye.